If you've ever wondered how to clean up or optimize your data source, specifically your SQL Server data source, then this is how you'll get to do that. Firstly, you'll want to be an administrator, as otherwise you will not have any access whatsoever to the options that are about to be shown. And secondly, you'll want to possibly have a backup of your server just in case you end up deleting things that maybe you didn't mean to delete. So how do we clean up? Firstly, you'll want to go to administration up here in the ribbon. Once clicked there, you can go to cleanup, and you'll notice that there are three different options here. So first we have our cleanup deleted history, and next we have our cleanup entry history, and lastly we have our cleanup activity logs. The deleted history is really for any deleted entries you might have deleted in the past. So think of it as like a recycling bin. So if I click here, I will then receive a window that allows me to delete everything prior to the date. So here I can choose a date on the calendar and say I want to delete everything before the 16th of December of 2024. Then I can do that here. And next we can pick our vault. So here we can go with the current vault, the one that we're currently loaded in, all the vaults within the data source, all vaults and all user vaults. So you can also delete things in other user vaults as an administrator. The user vault, that being your own user vault, or just all user vaults. So rather than all the shared vaults and all the user vaults, you'd only do it in all the user vaults of your users if they have those permitted anyway. So once you've selected your date and the vault you'd like to delete your deleted entries from, you can simply click OK, and it will ask you to perform a backup as I mentioned earlier. In our case, we don't need to. We've already done it, so we will just proceed anyway. And if the cleanup was successful, you'll receive a prompt saying so. And so now all of the deleted entries prior to that date have been deleted in the vault that you've chosen. Next up, we have our option to clean up entry history. The entry history specifically is every time you've made a change in an entry, that version of the entry is saved within the entry history. So if we go over to, say, one of our endpoint entries, endpoint 1, we can go over to view and entry history here. And once you have that, a prompt will appear. The prompt here will be your entry history. It'll tell you the connection type, the username, data source user, and just mostly all the information regarding this version that's selected. Right now, I only have one, and so you'll notice that not many modifications have been done to this version of the entry, and so this is the only version that is contained. In that case, if I delete the entry history or clean it up, it's not that the entry itself will be deleted. It's just all of the previous versions going down. So if I made another change and I'd have like 3 different changes, then what the cleanup entry history will do is just remove the older versions. So it'll just make it so that the new version is the only one that stays. So once you go to administration, go to cleanup entry history, again, it's the exact same sort of window as the deleted entries. So we get to choose our date. We get to choose where we'd like to do it. Same options for the vaults. Click OK, proceed anyway, and then cleanup successful. And then lastly, we have cleanup activity logs. Our activity logs is just a bit different. So here we have the date and the current vault as we've seen, but we also have the option here to include administrator logs. Now, this might not be something you'd like to do. Maybe the activity logs is all you want to delete, which if that's the case, you just have to uncheck this. And also we have the ability to back up the activity logs here because there is no real way to back it up outside of this prompt to my knowledge. So this means that if you want to back it up, then this is how you'll have to do it before we actually click OK. So we go check backup, which it is by default. We pick a backup file name, and we choose where it is here that we'd like to add it. So in my case, let's say it's the desktop. I can click on save, and now it'll be saved here as an XML file, which I can later add back into the activity logs later. So in our case, we'll include the administrator logs. If I click OK, then it'll confirm that not only is it deleted, but also backed up for the future in case I accidentally deleted a log I didn't necessarily want to. So click OK, and that's about it for cleanup. Next, we have our administration and pack data source option. So here we have pack data source optimize. What this does is it looks at all of your entries and compresses them. So we have two options here, which I'd like to focus on. We have the analyze feature. So this button will simply analyze your data source and view how much space could potentially be saved out of the full size of your data source here. And then next we have the optimize. So optimize will analyze and also remove any excess data that we don't need in order to continue using our data source or our entries. So just keep in mind, it's not deleting anything. It's simply compressing the entries so that they can allow RDM to move along with more speed. This is especially useful when you have large numbers of entries. Right now, I only have about 155, but say you're looking at the 2000 mark, then maybe this is something you'd like to do. If you find that you are packing your data source and it's not speeding up RDM or optimizing it as well as you'd like, then the issue there is likely more to do with the volume of entries that you have than it is with actually the pack data source feature. If that is the case, then what we'd recommend is that you start moving certain entries to different vaults. So maybe creating a new vault and bringing it there. Or you can always contact our support team at service@devolutions.net.